We're going to have Mr. John Maupin get up here to start things off for you folks. Thank you.
Next, even Red Ale. We got Bud Light.
Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, Diorio? It's great to be here. It's good to be here. Yeah. I want to start off by saying a happy late Father's Day to all the fathers out here. Any fathers out here? Yeah, good, good. I am not a father, so I was not. Nobody told me that, and then when they did, I was quick to correct them. I said, no, I'm not a father. I've never been one. I didn't meet the right person. And in some cases, they would use the wrong person. You know what I mean? Because you have kids, and your significant other told you, you're a bad person. But if my father and my kids pay the child support, you know. Man, I had to, I didn't go around my family. I had to stay away from my family, man. I did. So that means that I didn't see anyone over the weekend. That's the first time for me, man. You know, I've had a lot of problems lately with my family. And when you do that, usually people stay around till it gets real ugly and everybody says a lot of nasty things to each other, and then you don't want to see each other again. So I just figured I would do the adult thing and stay away. And that's usually how I handle things. I just, I'll try, and I just stay away. But just, some things like my mom, man, we have a love-hate relationship. She loves me and I hate her. No, I don't hate my mom. I guess we're just similar. We are basically the same person, except she's a woman and I'm a man. That's the difference. My mom, man, she's a very controlling person. She likes to control a lot of things in other people's lives, especially her kids. She does. My mom's the type of person, if you were fixing a bowl of cereal, she would try to take over. Go fix it, you fix it this way. It's my cereal, leave my cereal alone, But my brother, man, he plays into this. He's the type of person, he lets my mother control everything, I believe if my mother would let him change his drawers, he would probably let her do that, Me and my brother were different, man. We just are. He's not very independent. I'm very independent. And we don't get along. Because my brother he's dependent on different things, especially alcohol. My brother loves alcohol. He's a great alcoholic, though, man. I can give it to him. You go over his house, he's got different plaques on the wall. Yeah, I got this DUI in 2003. Back in 1996, I got this DUI. And I'm working on getting another. I never did dabble in drugs and alcohol. My brother's tried everything. And if they create a different drug, he's going to try that too. He's probably somewhere on the streets right now. Say, hey, man, y'all come out with something new? Like it's an iPhone or something. My brother, though, he's a very interesting person. I love him to death, but we can't be around each other, People come and say, y'all like night and day. It sounds like it's kind of racist, night and day. Yeah. You try to say my brother's black? He is black, But those other family members, man, probably not the only person I really get along with is my uncle. My uncle is very funny. I've always told me he's very, very funny, and he should be up here doing comedy, and I should be the uncle, My uncle, man, I told him one time, I tried to talk him into come up here doing comedy once, and he was going to go, and he got in the car, and he said, before we go, and I get up on stage, he said, I want you to stop me at the liquor store so I get 2 pints of vodka. That's the only way I'm going to do it. Because I never was the type of person, I couldn't do jokes, man, while I was drunk. Because I didn't want to do it because I would see how it affected other comics, and when they would get drunk, they would say, hey, why don't you try some of this? And I thought about it, and then when I see them get on stage, they fall flat on their face. I said, oh, it didn't work out so well for him. I said, I'll just do it sober, And alcohol is one of those things, man, when I did drink a little bit, it would always be very, very confusing because small things become very hard. Like, I remember once I got drunk, and I tried to use the bathroom, tried to do like number 2, and it took me a long time before I could figure out that I was not wiping my butt, I was wiping my back, I said, oh my God, it's like this stuff ain't coming out right. But that's the way alcohol is, man, And when you're around other people in your family who do those things, you have 2 choices. You say, well, I can follow my family and do that, or I can just be somebody different. So I decided to be a different person, you know. But I got hooked on other things. I got hooked on strip clubs. I did. I was a strip club person. That was my thing. I tried to talk to my brother about it. It's not the same thing. Alcohol is different. Strip clubs was alcohol for me. You know? I love it. I spent a lot of money in strip clubs. I did, man. I was a strip club king. I was in there so much, people come up to me and walk and say, hey, don't you own this place? I don't own it. I'm having a lot of fun, though. God talked to me, though. He said, you need to stop coming to these places. I said, Father, I said, I'm having fun. He said, oh, yeah, I'm fun. Yeah. Losing a lot of money in there too, aren't you, buddy? I said, yeah, I'm losing a lot of money. I said, but I'm not strange. And he told me, these people in there are strange. So look around. Where are you at? You're strange too. I said, you're supposed to be my father. Why are you talking to me like this, you know? But eventually I disconnected myself from that. I had to learn that some things are very poisonous for you. You know, just like right now, not getting any laughs, it's very poisonous, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a very poisonous atmosphere. I think I'm going to flatten everybody's damn tires in here when I walk out the door. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I have a little bit of anger issues. I do. I think I get that from my brother, you know. My brother is a valid alcoholic. He's not one of those sweet alcoholics you want to go up and, oh, yeah, want $50. Because he'd probably rob you, you know. He would. He'd take it away. One time we went to a gas station, and right before we walked in, he said, how much you think I could get if I robbed that place? He said, probably about 5 to 10. 5 to 10. I don't even know 5 to 10 years. And look, you've been along to get yourself a real boyfriend and a place to stay for free. I know the guy wasn't laughing. I just got to tell him. He didn't hear my jokes today because he was talking. But it's okay. You know, it's all right. Everything's all right. How's it going, Mr. Lou? Pretty good. You're too mellow. Are you drunk? You're not drunk. Okay. Because sometimes I know alcohol, it creates, it affects different people differently. You know what I mean? Some people, like my uncle, he used to be the type of person, he would drink a lot of alcohol, and then he would just like black out in the middle of the street. One time we was getting out of the car, and I was walking towards his apartment. I said, hey, what's my uncle? And he was urinating on my tire, you know? I said, hey, man, I know we family and stuff, but I don't want to share your urine, you know what I mean? You don't do that. It got a little deep in here, it did. But this is what I call therapy. I get up here and I talk about my problems. When you're a comic, but sometimes you got to interject some humor into it. And I didn't interject any humor into this, so I'm just going to go home and cry. But my life is sad, you know? It's okay. We're going to bring up the next act. I have no clue who the next act is. So I'm just going to say, bring up the next white person. That's what we'll do. Have a good night.